Promise me you'll give me some cooking lessons soon, okay? She's not ready yet. Oh, no. She's not ready yet, but you nod politely. Oh, boy. Am I going to train her up into cooking with human flesh? One can only hope. One can hope. Hey guys, and welcome to GTLive, where, I don't know if you can tell by how I'm dressed, it is cold today, but probably not as cold as it is in Cooking Companions, where I presume today someone's gonna eat someone. That's me as Babe Ruth calling my shot over the right field wall. Sports metaphors breaking down royally, but basically that's me calling my shot. So for those of you who don't remember, Cooking Companions is a game that is a visual novel, Doki Doki-esque style game, but before we even got into the game proper, we had left the title screen on, and all of a sudden we were hearing creepy voices speaking in the background, whispering about how they're trapped and we can't save them, or something to that extent. Enter into the game proper, where we have our four characters, and they are stuck in a cabin, or at least I think today we're going to find out that they wind up stuck in a cabin with little to eat except for each other. And we are some mysterious chef with some mysterious backstory. It seems like we've done this repeatedly in the past. And then there's also delightfully kawaii vegetables that carry us on our way through our slow descent into madness. So, you know, just another typical day here at GTLive doing indie horror titles. Yeehaw! It's never... How come the positive ones never take off, Matt?
I don't know what you mean. Those vegetables are cute and they want to help you.
They want to help me eat my fellow cabin mates.
And what's wrong with that?
Yeah, right. Right. I did say that last time.
Yeah, you were condoning cannibalism.
Yeah, and in the first episode of this series, I was like, oh, this isn't a dark twist. This is just a twist. It's like, no, cannibalism is a dark twist. But yeah, maybe one of these days, a happy-go-lucky, family-friendly, uplifting indie title will actually take off. And not one that involves... Because even if you look at, like, popular titles like Among Us, or not Among Us, where you have stuff like, I'm an imposter, and I'm an alien murdering all my friends, and things like that. I'm just saying, it's always murder and death and cannibalism here. On the high, that's like a good day. On a bad day, you're stuffing kids into animatronic suits. So really, what more could you ask for? So come, descend into madness with me, friends. Feast upon the flesh of our fellow man. It's time for meat. Let's hop into Cooking Companions and see what we have going on. So Gregor, wake up. Sorry, you were making strange noises in your sleep. Oh, so last time we also got, it ended with a jump scare of some, like, creepy, desiccated, kind of like dehydrated or, like, drying out corpse that was either a ghost or some figure in our dream as we were drowning in our dream. So that is kind of, you're all caught up for the most part. We're about to starve to death. Yeah! Sorry, you were making strange noises in your sleep. What's going on, Gregor? Did the lightning wake you up? It woke me up. Tried to fall back asleep, but it's so loud. Let's just get back to sleep and talk about this in the morning. Everyone nods in agreement and gets back to bed. Except for you. You can't fall back asleep. You still have goosebumps from the nightmare. Karen's snoring is louder than a sawmill. No one will hear the others when you kill him. You find it very loud and very disturbing. You don't sleep a wink. Everyone is now up and awake in the cabin. You hear the front door open and quickly slam shut. Anatoly sounds petrified. All right. I looked out the door and we're completely surrounded by floodwaters. Looks like sailors take warning was more appropriate for today. Maybe it'll clear up tomorrow? You can't steal big guy's optimism, Karen. Why the hell not? That's all he has going for him. That and his voluptuous bod of meats that we're gonna. He's first on the chopping block. We confirmed this last time. When we start bumping people off, he's first on the chopping block because he's a meat factory. He's also good. Ooh, he's also good at chopping wood though, which means he's good at murdering us. So he's got to go first. Ha ha ha! Knock it off, you two. Mariah, you think it'll clear up tomorrow? I give it a 27% chance of clearing up tomorrow. Based on what? I was bored stiff, so I read a book on local precipitation levels for the last 20 years in the living room. Sounds like you're stealing Anatoly's thunder. Anatoly, you're a book nerd, right? Do they know, again, what is their relationship? So this is one of the things that we are unclear about at this point in the story. We don't know what their relationship is. And so it feels like they're four random people thrown together. On one hand, I'm convinced that we're going to eat each other. On the other hand, I'm convinced that maybe these are four separate souls all trapped together in the cabin at the same time. And maybe like they all died at separate points. And so now we're like experiencing or like bonding with their like reincarnated bodies or like spirits in the cabin.
I think FNAF did a number on you.
You know, I think it wasn't just FNAF. I think it's the last 10 years of doing theories on YouTube that has done a number on me. I was already on my way, and now it's just off the chain.
I thought they said at the beginning they were like a science class or something. Right?
Is that what they said at the beginning?
Maybe I just interpreted that.
No, maybe. Because the one
like,
kid has glasses, and he's like, oh, that's a nerd. He's a science guy.
Yeah. It's giving me like...
It would be a weird science class.
Well, they're like grad students. And they're like, it's like field research.
It's an adult learning program.
Dude on the right is not like in high school. You know what I mean?
No, I know, right. Well, that's why when you said science class, I'm like, that's odd. And Karen is doing like, you know, her adult educational I don't know. So there's a lot of theories out there. Let's actually see what we go with. Okay, sounds like you're stealing Anatoly's thunder. Why didn't you read it? Eck! Oh, wait, that's... couldn't make it past the cover. Is that right? Yes. That bookshelf has some great books on artisanal crafting and natural sciences. Why let them sit there gathering dust? How did you arrive at 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow? And again, there's a lot of numbers in this game. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it relates to, but there's just a lot of numbers. It's easy. Take the time of year, multiply it by a factor of... Mariah begins to explain meteorology to you. Great. She isn't dumbing any of this down. It's similar to... Oh, we're starting to glitch. We're starting to glitch out because I'm like, is that a code? Is that Greek? Because some of like this looks like mu. Some of these look like Greek letters, but the boxes are not. That's usually script not found. I wonder if we can translate that.
They're probably emojis.
And
this is an Android.
Yes, we're playing it on an Android. Yeah, I think that's usually like clip not found or something. This is Greek. Psi? Is that a Greek psi?
That was a sigma. No, sigma's the E.
No, sigma's the E. Sigma's the E. So the first thing you need, I don't know if it is. I just see that and it triggers something in my brain of like, wait a minute. So the first thing you need to understand, minutes of explanation feels like hours. You look over at Anatoly. He's listening intently to Mariah. So intently he hasn't blinked yet. You can see his eyes drying up. A tear rolls down one of his cheeks. This is brutal to watch. Mariah finally wraps up her lecture. She ends with a bow. Nobody claps. Tough crowd. Mariah, that was awe-inspiring. You lost me a few minutes in, but it's okay. It's like watching a video on NFTs on YouTube at this, like, there's this channel, Folding Ideas, that I absolutely love. Did this like 2-hour plus video on, we referenced it in a recent theory, but 2-hour plus video, like very extensive on NFTs. And the first like 15 minutes of it is such a like dense beat down. It's like you're getting hit upside the head with like a wall of concrete and you gotta like chisel away at it. But I feel like Anatoly in that moment, like my eyes are just shriveling up in my head, like what am I actually consuming here in this moment? And that's like, oh, thank you for the brilliant explanation of what is actually going wrong with all this stuff. Anyway, I didn't understand a word of it. Yeah. Anatoly turns to you. Anyway, there's no telling how long this will last. We can't leave the cabin until the floodwaters stop. I know our food situation is a little tight, but I know you'll make the right decisions. I believe in you. Me too. Ah. Looks like we have enough leftover berries for more bread and raspberry jam. I'll pass on the jam. Just give me more crusty bread. Everyone laughs. Laughs, except for you. With everyone stranded in the cabin, you need to keep everyone fed and happy. You sneak out to the kitchen while everyone's still talking. You get out some crusty bread and get to work making some more jam. With the kitchen to yourself, you decide to check on the Chompettes. Here they are. Hello! Don't worry, as a leader of the Chompettes, I'll make sure that none of the humans know about us. They're suspicious. I don't know if they're all a concoction in here, if they're a personification of something else. I don't know how much I trust the talking cabbage and his cute little kawaii friends.
Do you want to hear my interpretation?
Please.
I think that we're cuckoo.
Yes.
Like flat out cuckoo.
Sure, I can see that.
Yeah.
And you think that these are just products of our...
100%.
And
the whole like glitching the text and yeah, it's giving psychosis to me.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that there's enough evidence to definitely support that, for sure. That big guy would try eating me like an apple, so definitely don't tell him about us. Potato. Are your plans going awry? Ba-doom-ching. Got another cornbread classic for you. Did you hear about the bread maker's bakery burning down? No? Her business is now toast. See, that's suspicious to me. The fact that the voices of, like, bread are, like, demonic.
I love the bread's voice.
The bread voice is pretty stellar, I gotta admit. That one's been done to death. Do you know how raspberry and milk were introduced? You tell her no. Raspberry milk shake! Is that even... You let out an audible groan. I agree. Did cornbread teach... I don't know if I should lean into the voice that the game is giving us for the... Did cornbread teach you that one? Nope, wasted an entire day thinking about that terrible pun. Oh, well, it was worth the time and effort, Raspberry. Maybe you'll win the annual Chompette Comedy Competition this year. Of course! Not while I'm here. I won't choke on stage this year. Isn't that every year, Bread? We still talk about that closing line, Bread. You're gonna do great this year. Anyways, don't even think of eating us if you're hungry. Chompettes stick together through thick and thin. Rain or shine. Feast and famine. He's like a death metal singer. Feast and famine. 7 deadly sins, I'm a loaf of bread. Look at me, I'm a smiling rye bread. Great. Potato, I swear to God, repeat the line or we're going to lock you up again. Huh. Life or death. That's right. Chompettes, move out. Huh, that's interesting. Potato's being held there against his will. The Chompettes somehow managed to close the drawer on themselves. You bring the crusty bread and jam into the living room. Yeah, there's a lot of interpretations that I think are valid of this at this point. I'm really curious what direction it goes. Karen interrupts you as you bring the food. Took you long enough. Karen looks at the 2 slices of bread left and the mason jar of raspberry jam. There's mold on these last 2 slices of bread. Karen is right. What the heck is the matter with you? You grip the knife tightly in your hand. You think this is enough for 5 of us? Wait! We can't throw this bread away. It's all we have left. Gregor's right. Anatoly, will mold spores give us food poisoning? I'm no scientist. Sorry. Let's pick off as much mold as we can. We can't leave with the floodwaters, so this will just have to last us another day. Everyone grimly nods, ripping apart their piece like a pack of wolves. Man, we're less than, like, 5 hours into this thing, and it's already just crashed and burned. They're like, man, I had that huge meal last night. They actually had bread and jam, but, like, they had a big meal the day before. They're like, oh, man. It's just descended immediately. Gregor seems to unhinge his jaw and eat it in one bite, like a snake. He looks like a duck eating bread. Thanks again. Bread and jam isn't much of a meal, but it's more than we had when we left Ukraine. A twist! There's a lore drop for you.
I have noticed there's a lot of, like, Eastern European Russian talk.
It's and also the recipes too, like the cabbage wrapped, whatever it was.
They made borscht.
Yeah, they made borscht. They made cabbage wrap stuff, which is so my family heritage is actually from that part of the world, and so we were never a borscht family, but like my relatives were borscht, and a lot of cabbage-wrapped stuff.
Like the chompettes, your relatives were borscht.
Yeah, they were. They were literally just human embodiments of borscht.
Is everything okay?
Just a bowl of soup. Delicious. Borscht is not great.
I also noticed a lot of the names in the beginning were like Russian names.
Right.
I did research.
Anatoly, Gregor.
It's an American game developer.
Interesting.
So
all right,
seems purposeful.
There, yeah, it's cool. You left Ukraine. Plenty of rainwater outside, so at least we won't die of dehydration. But until this storm is over, nobody should leave the cabin. Should clear up if we just give it a chance. I guess, I don't know. If the floodwaters are rising, maybe we leave the cabin while the floodwaters are still relative. I mean, obviously this episode started with them already being up, but like if they knew that the floods were coming. Anatoly, where are you getting that information from? One of the books on the bookshelf about the climate here. You're illiterate, so that's definitely a lie. He's illiterate now? Huh. I've seen him reading. Little guy's been studying. I'm serious. He pretends to read those books because he wants us to think that he's smart, but I can tell that he's staring at the pages fake. Huh. Whoa, man, there's all sorts of heavy drops happening here. Just big old turd drops of lore all over the place. Game's walking across the screen, just dropping lumps of turd as it walks. What do you think? Anatoly doesn't know the weather conditions from a hole in the ground. Karen is correct. Anatoly can read. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I think we got to side with Karen because we have 2 relationship points with Karen, and I want Karen on my good side. So I think I'm going to do this. But real quick, I am going to save it. So this is a game where they've been pretty explicit about, like, hey, if you make different choices, different things are going to happen. So back to the game. We've saved it. I'm going to say Karen. Yeah. Huh. You're funny. I keep pretending with those books, Anatoly. Brutal Karen! I found an old picture book in the living room, Anatoly. Let me know if you want it, small fry. Karen! Karen smiles at you. I guess let's call it a day. Yeah. Sure. Shoot, that didn't boost my relationship with her. Darn it. Everyone shuffles off to their sleeping areas. 6 minutes later, there it is! I was wondering. I'm glad you called out Anatoly's bluff. You continue to impress. It's a shame Anatoly is sleeping in the same bed. Oh, okay, Karen. I should have never let him be the one to share with me. But what if it was just me and you? I'm sure we could study and squeeze a few novels in before bed. You nod. Well, we'll have to see if we can kick him out at some point, right? Oh, you'll have to tell me about that anatomization book on the bookshelf. Really cool pictures in there. Karen looks like she has a crush on you. Anatomization? Like, anatomize. As in, anatomy?
I'm assuming chop up into little bitty pieces.
Right, that's kind of what because an atomizer is something that breaks anatomization. That's just a weird. Yeah, to anatomize is to cut into pieces. Okay, so it's a book about that book, about cutting the anatomy into tiny, tiny pieces. The anatomization, obviously. The more you know. Let me know if you're ever free for a lesson. See, I don't. If we're doing an anatomization lesson, I volunteer to be teacher. Let's just say that. Like, I will teach. I don't want to, be the subject matter in this case. Okay, Karen.
Karen walks away.
Oh.
Look, self-voicing disabled.
Okay. Karen walks away. Self-voicing was disabled. Great. She looks very happy. You are definitely sure Karen's going to remember that. Oh, Karen. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Karen is... I don't know if Karen's affection is what I really want out of life, but it's what I'm going for.
I think we picked the right one.
I
want Karen on our side.
I mean, if there is someone in this group that we want on our side, I feel like Karen is, probably the safest for our self-preservation.
Yeah.
Yes.
The enemy of my enemy, my friend.
Correct, exactly, yeah. The one who has a propensity for
cutting people up.
For cutting people up and likes to brandish knives. Yeah, I think she's a good one to have on our side. So anyway, you get ready for bed and put a blanket on. You go to sleep very hungry. It's only day 3. Day 4, okay, there it is. I was going to say, it's only day 4. Oh! You don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up. Oh, look, everyone's in decent spirits. And that's how fast a deer could run if startled. Whoa. Incredible. Impressive. I wish we had a deer here. With the food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal. No. It's only for a day. Various cultures and religions have practiced fasting throughout history. That doesn't make us feel any better, Anatoly. What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly. Oh, hey, you calling me out? Don't you call me out. I read a book about anatomization, okay? Anatoly leaves. He's mad at me because I called him out. It's so passive-aggressive. And everyone disappears. Everyone goes to a separate area. Karen in the bedroom, Gregor in the living room, Mariah in the kitchen, and Anatoly in the bathroom. Who do you want to speak to? Ah! All right, well, we're going to save. Going to save there. Let's see. Who do we want to talk to? I lean in on Karen, I guess. Let's befriend Karen some more. She is alone in the bedroom. This is... Looks like she's just slicing away at her block of wood. Hey, can I let you in on a secret? I've actually enjoyed your cooking so far. The others expect me to be rude and mean, so I have to keep that reputation up, right? Can't have anyone thinking I'm soft. You're not sure where this is coming from. Promise me you'll give me some cooking lessons soon, okay? She's not ready yet. Oh no! She's not ready yet, but you nod politely. Oh boy, am I gonna train her up into cooking with human flesh? One can only hope. One can hope. This is delightful. Thank you. You're definitely sure Karen's gonna remember that? Karen. Oh. One away, and we can show her the ropes. We can teach her how to cook with the delicious flesh of other humans. Fantastic. You leave Karen by herself. Fantastic. Real quick, here, I'm going to save it. And we've been doing this just to see what some of the options we don't pick are. So let's just out of curiosity, I believe that was the right choice. I feel really strongly about this. We know really nothing about Gregor. Mariah's the one we have a second tier relationship with right now, so let's just talk to her real quick. I'm curious where she's at. Oh, didn't hear you coming. I was just double checking if there was any food we might have missed, but I couldn't get the drawer open. Could you give it a try? You nod. Great! Well, you go do that. I'm gonna get some more reading done. You think Mariah will remember that. That's interesting. It hasn't come into play yet, but the idea that people definitely or won't and may remember things, that's an interesting detail that I'm curious how it's ultimately going to play out here at some point. Later! You give the drawer a hard yank open, and we see our friends, the Chopettes! Hello! Is the thunderstorm keeping you up at night? You just need to roll with it. Like me, I'm a bread roll. Get it? Raspberry whispers so quietly you lean over to listen to her. We need to talk soon. Ooh. Please listen to me when the time comes. Yes. Yes, anthropomorphized Raspberry. I will absolutely listen to everything that you have to say, no questions asked. Anyways, please don't let the others see us. That's right, Raspberry. Part of being a Choppette is secrecy. Wouldn't want those humans to overhear our meetings, now would we? You shake your head. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Choppettes, roll on out. You shut the drawer. All right. So that was interesting. I'm going to hop back to where we were. But I think that's pretty interesting there. So we're going to load. This was the one that we left off on. Everyone looks pretty down. So this is Karen still loving us. Wish the rain would just stop. You're all doing great. We must be almost at the end of this nightmare. So hungry. Me too. You are too. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed with a growling stomach. You have a strange dream. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray. But he keeps shaking his head, calling you names. So you do it. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. You show him how it's done. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him sneering back at you. You wake in a cold sweat. I was wondering if there would be a jump scare there. This is fun. I don't know. I'm really intrigued about where this is going. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. And there's a lot of valid options, and who knows?
Well, so to recap.
Yeah.
First nightmare, drowning.
Correct.
Second nightmare,
burning
alive.
Yes.
Okay. And the second one was a little boy.
Yes.
Was the first one a woman?
The first one was something on our back.
Oh.
The first one was something on our back that we take to the river. We try to drown it on our back, but it won't happen, so we end up drowning ourselves, at which point then it rose up into the sky, and we caught a glimpse of it, which was like the desiccated woman.
Right.
So
this is similar, where it's like we wanted
well,
we wanted to cook this little boy, but then we got cooked.
Right?
We wanted to drown the thing on our back, and then we drowned.
Right. Yeah, it both times we are the person who is dying. Yeah. Yeah, same thing here, right? We wanted the boy to lay down, he gets out, so it's us always biting the bullet, kind of. Right. And so far what we have potentially a Karen stand-in and a Anatoly stand-in, a boy and a woman. Maybe. Who knows, but we'll see. Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. Yeah, save those calories, man. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. Before you ever resort to cannibalism, friends, look in the general vicinity of where you're at. But you know, I know we're all in a hurry to rush to cannibalism. I know we're very eager to consume the meat of our fellow humans. But consider other options prior to that. Are there other edible things in my environment that could give me the necessary calories that I need to live? I just throw that out there as a friendly neighborhood Pat bit of advice for you all. You know, it's easy to look at Mirror Matt and say, yeah, that's my next meal. I'm going to definitely eat that thing, assuming that he's not actually a mirror on the wall or is 80 yards in after the fact or is an animatronic walking around. That's a very valid option. But it's also one of those things, too, like before that, maybe I should eat the leather of the couch or of this keyboard.
Is there a Christmas tree in the close vicinity?
Exactly. A Christmas tree of which that could provide you a feast for a year.
Yeah.
Honestly, a veritable feast. If you watch Food Theory, you know how easy and delicious it is to eat an entire Christmas tree. You know, I feel like clothing might provide some level of nutrient. No, probably not. What clothing could you eat? Shoe? They always say you can eat shoes.
I don't think you can eat shoes.
This is a food theory. There it is. What clothing? This is actually pretty good. I like that one. Remind me to write this down. What clothing can we eat in times of crisis? See, everyone was doubtful about food theory. Now you see. You see how it all comes together. Answering the questions that the internet needs to know. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. The rain is still pouring outside. You can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear a stirring of blankets, arms, and legs. Mariah looks petrified. I couldn't sleep. Anatoly has bags under his eyes. But also still a squirrel on his shoulder. Just throwing that out. The squirrel has gone completely unmentioned the entire time, but is definitely worth, like, considering eating that thing. The storm is too loud. Karen looks out of it. The cabin was creaking so much last night. It sounded alive. Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window. And? Couldn't see anything due to the rain. Great observation, Gregor. I was so hungry last night. I kept pacing around my bed. Karen turns to you. When is this going to end? I checked outside the door again. Floodwaters kept rising. Unfortunately, we're gonna need to stay put unless one of us wants to drown in rainwater. As soon as the weather lets up, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies. How close is the nearest town? I don't know. Didn't you have a map on you? I think I dropped it when we were running after Gregor. I'm sure it'll show up eventually. Mariah and Anatoly go white as a sheet. How are we going to find our way back now? Well, we'll have to ride out the storm. Mariah looks at you. We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating. The group stares at you. It'll clear up in no time. Maybe you're right. The group looks worried. They all gravitate to an area. You can tell Gregor is putting on fake optimism and Mariah's having trouble. Which one do you want to speak with today? Oh, I get to choose between those two only. I'm like, oh, this is our chance. Gonna lock in Mariah, or yeah, gonna lock in Karen as our number one. All right. We're gonna go with Gregor's on the chopping block. Let's go with Mariah. Although, to be fair, if Gregor loses his enthusiasm or any sort of hope, I could see him going off the rails and killing us. So maybe that was the wrong call because he's strong and good at wood chopping. And so if he like suddenly loses all his optimism, I see him going from like 100 to 0 and being like, no, and taking all of us out. So if our goal is indeed to survive on the flesh of everyone else, then maybe we should talk to him. But anyway, right. It's cold as heck over here. I'm surprised Gregor isn't freezing to death at night. How does he do it? You explain to Mariah how the size of a person and fat content actually determine how warm they are naturally. It's probably something that I would do. Yeah! Wish I was as big as Gregor. But to be honest, I don't need to be that tall to make a difference in this world. Do you know? It's great. Here we go. Do you know what he wanted to do for a career? Mariah does her best Gregor impression. Split the firewood and gaze at the stars. That is me doing Mariah doing Gregor. Thank you. Thank you. That's layers of performance quality, right? Just layers of performance quality for you guys. I like that you went full screen on that. That was a moment that we really wanted to highlight. Thank you. Thank you. How boring is that? Depends on the person, but pretty boring. You're so funny. Thanks for coming in and chatting with me. Mariah blushes a little. You make it easier to pass the time. Thank you. You're pretty sure Mariah will remember that. Pretty sure. Yeah! All right. Clearly, we see where my alliances have trended. You thank her and leave the bedroom. Looking a bit rough. You call everyone together. They all look grim. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. You could also cut their throats with a knife. And you will on day 6. 6 days in a cabin. Everyone's staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. You bring it out. Everyone can't take their eyes off it. You instruct everyone to take a pinch, and slowly all 5 of you tear it apart like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it'll last. Karen is the first to eat hers. She chews each bite a few 100 times before swallowing. Anatoly chews it cautiously, opening his mouth once he finishes each bite. Mariah nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. And Gregor... Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry. It was gone in an instant. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you've run out of options. I don't know how much they were the jam. We made a decent amount of jam. They must have been slathering that stuff on that bread. Like, they should still have jam. Come on.
If that's all they had, I mean, it's jam with toast.
It's jam with toast.
At that point.
You spread it out. You got to pace it out at that point. You're just having straight jam.
I'm going hand in the jam jar.
Get out of here. What are you, Winnie the Pooh? Do you know how much wasted jam comes out of that?
I actually don't have pants on right now.
Oh, Balda. It took me a minute to be like, what? Why did he say that? That is a weird thing to say. And then I'm like, oh, Winnie the Pooh doesn't have pants on. Yeah, but I don't know what it is about boy animals in TV shows. Like,
no pants.
They never wear pants.
Frontal.
Yeah. Shirts, absolutely. Make sure that, the top part is well covered.
That's what we need to cover up.
Exactly. But the bottoms, whoa, let it all hang out, Pooh. You wish everyone good night, get ready for bed. You go to bed starving. Not for long, though. We're going to be feasting on the flesh of our fellow friends. Day 6! Here we go. Good morning! Good morning. Let me check if the rain stopped. It is not. It's still flooding. What are we going to do? Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end in a day or 2, right? Actually, Precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you really think it'll rain that long? Anatoly, it's been days already. What makes you think it'll stop soon? That is a gambler's fallacy, Karen. Stop it! That's the belief that just because everything else happened before, it's impacting future events. No, that's actually a complete lie. The independent event that is, will it rain tomorrow, is completely disconnected from whether it rained the last couple days. She is a classic gambler fallacy right there.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think so?
Well, when it comes to the weather, like, if it rained yesterday, it definitely does affect whether or not it rains today.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was the other thing I was going to say, is if anything, the fact that it rained yesterday means that it's less likely to rain the next couple days.
But, like, what if there's, like, a cold front? You
Yeah,
know.
but the cold fronts, that symbolizes a movement of the weather patterns, man.
Yeah.
And so the weather patterns would likely be, like, washing past.
Any meteorologists in these
We don't need any input. We know what we're talking about. Get out of here. Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it's done by tomorrow. Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking scared, but you need only to survive. Karen and Gregor begin discussing next options. Do you want to speak with Mariah in the kitchen or Anatoly in the living room? Think instead about everything you've done wrong and how you've doomed everyone. Oh no! What have I done? Speak with Mariah, speak with Anatoly. They really don't want me bonding with Karen anymore. They've really stopped the Karen bonding here. I'm gonna put this here. Yeah, sure, there it is. I think we keep going with Mariah. Double down into Mariah. Also, that means we're going to get to talk with the Chompettes as well. So a talk with Mariah here is also a talk with the Chompettes. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing that exists, so I'm going to allow, it's like 2 for the price of 1. Hey! Mariah looks relieved to see you. There we go. Just all I had to do was walk into the room. Man, I have that effect on people. It's amazing. Just walk in and they're like, oh, my relationship has grown stronger with you. How you holding up? Better question, how are you holding up? Oh, yeah. Not very good. That's very sweet of you to ask. Mariah's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you. I noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. Usually I have to pick it out of the foods that the others make, but you respected that. Thank you. Mariah is looking at you with admiration. I need to speak with Gregor for a minute, but thanks again. Oh, man. We're going to be cooking human meat with our 2 lady friends. You're definitely sure Mariah's going to remember that. All right. Oh, double. Boom, we're at 4. Yeah. I'm going to have my little like cavalcade of people all cooking with. They'll be my sous chefs. I'm assembling sous chefs. This is amazing. Gordon Ramsay, eat your heart out. You're watching an episode of Iron Chef and the mystery ingredient is human. And I got my 2 sous chefs at my side. Karen and Mariah. Anatoly and Gregor better watch out. They don't know what's coming for them. It's going to be bad. You decide to check out the drawer again. Our buddies, the Chompettes. Oh, Potato. Oh, I'd like to bond with Potato. You ask Potato where the others are. They'll be back. They wanted to explore the labyrinth of tunnels under the cabin. Ooh, labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely you've seen the mouse holes, right? I have! They connect all over the cabin. It must have been some mouse that created them. Or something worse. Anyways, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Things are going to get worse from here on out. You have a feeling that Potato is telling you the truth. You realize that some drool is leaking out of your mouth. Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. You'd just get deathly sick if you tried. From the look of you, you need to retain all the water you can. From rationing to cooking, you failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. Huh. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With floodwaters rising and no food now, I think it'd be a great time to go over the fundamentals of starvation with you. When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors that will determine if you live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. The Harris Benedict. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is game theory right here, man. We are doing an episode guaranteed on this one. The Harris Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current weight. The equation produces a number called the basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Stay with me here. BMR equals 655 plus the collection of 5.35 times weight in pounds, plus 4.7 times height in inches, minus 4.7 times age in years. Got it? For fun. Let's try it out on someone here. Mariah, using Harris Benedict. She looks like she's, what, 120 pounds? About 5 feet, 5 inches tall, about 20 years old. Really? She's 20? Okay. Sure she is. I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see that, you know, a young girl in a visual novel is a decent age. Good on you, developers. You did it. Crunching the numbers, I think she needs about 1,388 calories daily. But that's being abnormally stationary. She'd have to lay in bed all day and night just eating, breathing, and using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. If she was being very active, let's say swimming through floodwaters, we need to multiply that 1,388 calories by 1.9. So now she needs 2,638 calories per day. It's quite the difference, especially if you didn't ration the food properly, which you didn't. I guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully we'll never have to speak again. Okay. You shut the drawer, going over the numbers again. Oh, it's a game about math! Oh my, it's a game about math and cannibalism! Yay! Oh, they're hitting all my, they're like, how do we make a game that is perfect for MatPat? This is it. This is my perfect game right here. Equations, numbers, research, human cannibalism wins across the board. I don't think any of us can take this much longer. Gregor's voice starts to crack. So, okay, real quick. Under the Benedict, here, you can leave him up actually, because under the equation, Gregor needs the most calories. Probably Mariah needs the least calories at 1,388 or whatever, because she is short, young, and relatively inactive. I should have paid more attention to the numbers, but like I should have paid attention to the multipliers. But I mean, I would assume that Mariah and Karen, because women also tend to need fewer calories in order to kind of sustain. So I would say those two are probably the longest to survive, and then Anatoly and Gregor is like far and away the one who needs the most calories per day.
I think it was like age. No, wait.
Because as you age, you need fewer calories. I think I'd have to go back. I should have paid more attention to the equation.
Because it was minus the age.
Was it minus age?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what these.
So it was weight times height minus.
See, this is why you got to pay attention in class. I'll go back and look at it, but that's my guess. Gregor seems like again.
He's first to go.
He's first to go no
down.
matter what, right? Why don't we eat the squirrel, man? Just eat the squirrel.
Hey.
I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Everyone's silent. I'll go. Mariah, I used to swim all the time near my house, so I probably have the best chance of swimming through the floodwaters. No, let me go instead. You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses, Anatoly. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? That's true, but... Little guy, let me go. Gregor, sounds good to me. Karen? His arms are definitely the longest, so he'd probably be best at climbing trees out of all of us. No, that wouldn't be right, Gregor. Let me go instead. I get that none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help. Gregor grabs a branch from the woodpile, cuts it into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand, and the shortest will go outside to search for food. I think we should actually make the choice. You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths, so you can tell which is the biggest one of the bunch. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor, Anatoly, Karen? Will it be Mariah? Looks like I've got the shortest. Mariah. It's okay. We're really assuming that she's gone. I watched Anatoly forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for. Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe you'll find fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Man, they're really determined that she is just gone. Karen, Anatoly, and Gregor. What about me? What about me? What about Chefy? Master Chef, right over here. I'll keep us... I thought she was definitely going to remember our interactions, but clearly she does not.
Do we have a name? Like, we didn't enter a name, did we?
No, nothing. Oh, no, Maddie Patty. We entered Maddie Patty, yeah. I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. I bet she comes back, because she swims. Silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is. And then silence. Mariah has left the cabin! I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun is completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. Achievement unlocked, dead to me? Oh, wow. You get ready for bed and easily pass out. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is a guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong, you can't get her into the oven. Man, people fight back so hard when their lives are on the line. It's such a bummer. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking into the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two of them through the woods. Your burns chill with the wind. The guest looks behind her, and her eyes widen when she sees you. She's terrified. Your fury rips trees out by their roots, soil from the ground, rocks from their pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever. You're gaining on them. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. What was that? I saw 2 eyeballs. Is it like my burning eyes? Here, we'll check out the extras menu real quick. Here, 1 second. Save. Let's do exit. Oh, wait. Nope. Title screen. It's got to think about it. It's thinking. It's like, yeah, he doesn't want to leave. This is day 7. Okay. Whee! Cooking companions! Extras. Okay, so we should have... So that's our boy. Boy in the fire. It's honestly just Cassidy, the vengeful spirit. Identical. Ooh! Ooh! There's a bunch! Oh, wow! Oh, there's way more. So that's Mariah. Presumably, right? Because it's got the necklace. And the short hair. Yeah, that's Mariah. 1, 2, 3. Also Mariah. Oh, she's winking at us. Oh, weird. Oh, okay. I see. We're falling in a chasm. So this is the chasm as we're falling and going down into HE double hockey sticks. And there's the guest and the other woman who pushed us in. Weird. So does this mean she's safe or that she's dead? Huh. This is real interesting. This is going to... I am so intrigued. This is great. This is great. How are we doing on time, Matt?
Probably time to wrap.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, no! But no one's dead yet. We haven't eaten anyone. Matt?
Well, we ate Mariah.
We did not eat.
No, we didn't eat her.
And she's also... I predict that she's alive. She will come... In these sorts of stories, more often than not, the person that you assume is dead comes back like 3 days. Like, so our challenge, as I see it now, is we need to survive long enough in order for her to get back to the cabin. I think she will be back at some point. Unless we see the dead body, I am not convinced that she's gone.
Okay. What do you make of the mouse holes?
Right, the mouse holes are really interesting.
That was weird.
It's an odd detail, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that the other like I still believe the psychosis thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it is still it's all a product of him. Like I could still see it being a product of him.
Okay.
I don't know. It's cool, man. Oh, I feel good-ish about our decisions. Here's the thing. I think in order for everyone to survive, you need to befriend everyone a little bit, right? I think, like, very clearly we have thrown our die into Karen and Mariah, but I predict that there's an ending here where all of them can survive. It just requires us to do a very, very specific set of and sequence of actions that we have not, obviously, because it's our first playthrough, so we don't know. Like, we don't know what we're supposed to do or where this is all leading to. But I would expect that there's bad ending where everyone dies, including ourselves, a medium ending, of a series, I would assume, a series of medium endings where we live, at the very least, and some subset of the other people live. And I bet there's a good ending where there is all of us survive. And then, lastly, based on everything that I'm seeing here, my theorist senses are telling me, my theorist SP, theory ESP, my theory SP is telling me that there's an ending here where none of this is real, and that there is some other meta story on top of this that is going to either be revealed to us or that you can only pick apart by doing theory crafting. That's my guess. Cool. Oh, I want more of this. I don't want to stop, Matt, but I know we have to stop. But I don't want to. Can't stop, won't stop.
We could roll into another episode.
But we'll stop.
Okay.
I mean, we can roll.
Yeah. They don't dictate us. We can do what we want.
I mean, we can.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of scripts and recordings.
That's true.
Like, they don't dictate us, but Jason dictates me. Let's be honest. There's a lot of forces that dictate me and my time at this point. So
what if we say please?
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's like, oh, well, is that please going to get the editors a script by the end of the day? No? All right, well, then too bad, Matt. Get back there to the recording class. I'm like, yes, sir. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that we still aren't cooking with human flesh. I don't know what to tell you. I'm doing my best here. I'm trying to get us as much of a flesh feast as possible, but it just ain't happening. So tune in next time where I almost guarantee it's going to happen, right? It's got to. It's day 7, day 8. They're getting hungry, man. They're going to eat. They're going to eat each other. I hope. Chompettes are going to eat us all. Maybe that's the true ending of this game, is like the Chompettes were real the entire time, and they just consume us. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, remember, it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!